All right, Shalom. Before we started, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Bahakurash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at GMS. Peace, honor, and respect to you, brothers that's out there laboring, edifying, rally, dividing the word and truth and sincerity. And Shalom to you, believers out there at the Akim and Wahakwa. And yeah, man, you know the talk of the town right now. You see it. It's huge. All right. U.S. on the brink of civil war. 25 states have activated the Constitution and deployed the National Guard, preparing for battles with Biden forces. Yes. Okay. And let's get this. Let's go straight to it. Luke 11. I'm going to get to the point. Verse 17. It says, what? But he, knowing their thoughts, said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house falleth. And see, I was thinking, because I want to play this little documentary right here. What caused the Roman Empire to fall? Because we all know that America is nothing but Rome 2.0. See, and the Lord is bringing that internal conflict as well as that external conflict. All right. So you got half the United States. Let's go down. Let's get to the brass tacks. Let me see. Right here. So you see, you got half of the United States that's supporting Texas, and then you got half that's not. That's a house divided equally, straight up the middle. It's lovely, man. Look, let me get this, because everybody think America gonna come back. Jeremiah 51 and verse 8, it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. Right. And this is the Lord through Jeremiah is being facetious. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone to his own country. And brother just did a video of how this man was talking about how he'd tell his people, like, don't come here. See, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and it's lifted up even to the skies, man. So Babylon, aka America, aka Egypt, aka Sodom, aka Rome too, is gonna fall down. The Lord is gonna bring. And you know what? I was thinking these white America don't never consider, America's fallen for all what y'all did, y'all forefathers, foremothers, all what y'all did to the Negro, to the Latino, to the Native, to the true children of Israel. You white America never consider. You never consider about what you do over the planet. You think just because slavery was a long time ago, hardcore slavery was a long time. You think, oh, that was a long time ago. We That's a long time ago. No, you still got to pay, and y'all going into slavery. Y'all gonna pay double. White America never consider about what they do. They think they can just do all this rape, rob, murder. They can give you that little white smile. Say they sorry and everything is okay. No, America's gonna fall, and when America fall, you're gonna fall with it, and the rest of you heathen nations, because you Arabs, you not coming into power. You Chinese, you not coming into power. You Koreans, you East Indians, India not going to be the next superpower. Russia's not going to be the next superpower because y'all Edomites. What's this? Egyptian versus Egyptian? All right. This is what we seeing. You got half of the United States basically against half of the United States against the other half. Okay. 25 states out of the what? 50? Okay. And I'm going to play some of these videos, but let me see. Because right here, this guy was talking about, let me see, Lord willing, it play. Let me see.
Few of them got there from, I would say there were two or three flavors. There were clearly middle class Chinese people there who their clothes, their cell phones, their shoes, all of it just spoke to like middle class, higher middle class. Like some of them had a nicer jacket than I, sport coat kind of a thing. I'm like, wow, that's nice clothes. And there were a few people there from China who looked clearly had military demeanor, very well muscled. We saw a couple guys coming out of a shower.
You see, military demeanor. That's the invasion, man. The foreign troops coming in.
Tattoos, that sort of stiff demeanor, very not willing to talk to anybody whatsoever. Obviously, so but they were, for the most part, it's clear that they fly in from mainland China, and we actually saw a video that had been produced, and it looks like Kim. It looked like a tourism video when it was translated for us. It was like there's this exciting adventure you get to go on, and it had good music, and it showed all these people wearing life jackets in a boat with thumbs up who were from China, and it was very engaging. I was like, go on an adventure is how they had phrased it. And so the ratio we saw was probably 9 or 10 males for every female from China. But there were people there from Afghanistan, Africa, Middle East, all over South America, you name it.
So, you brothers and sisters, I want you to remember this, because Lord will, if I play this documentary, that's part of the reason how Rome fell. All right. What they was going into was about how, why these Chinese people didn't fly in America the normal way. Take a plane and just stay here. Well, if you fly here, you overstay your welcome, or you get to the airport and it's all this questioning and background check. No, what they're saying is this is a route. Let me see if I can get that.
I would say there were 2 or 3 flavors. There were clearly. Yep.
And people are coming from all over the world. So these Chinese people, were they coming from?
They claw their way north.
Listen to this.
Closed people. We heard from somebody else. They'd heard from a Chinese person that the average duration from that camp to being in New York City with a driver's license is 10 days.
I mean,
what I'm trying to establish here. It's a route now.
Yeah.
This isn't like some people stumble around and they claw their way north. There's a whole. This is like it's a business now.
It's set up, and it sounds like it's like
it's a business. This border crisis is not just random people coming, like he said. So this is the video. You brothers and sisters will watch the whole thing, get some information in there. I'm gonna kind of move on to the next thing. So I want to come back here. This article. I'm not going to be doing that much reading. I want you to we're just going to hit some key points. Okay. So you see right here, Americans are predicting a local civil war as Texas may leave the United States and begin to exit as a separate state. Now check this out. You see, it's going down. Breaking USA, Texas defiant federal ban. The Texas National Guard is installing additional fencing along the border. And you see, 25 states is backing this, man. Half of America. They're like, no, we ain't getting in. You see? And this is the 15 states who are providing personnel to secure the border. 25 states in total, see? Let's see this.
All together. Governors in 15 states, United States. All together, if you add in the states supporting this mission.
So I kind of seen where it was. Let me do something real quick. Bear with me. All right, let me see if it'll play.
25 governors in 25 states. Half of the states of the United States of America are banding together to step up and secure a border that President Biden has abandoned. All together.
That's half. That's half. And I think this is the governor of South Dakota, North Dakota, one of them. Listen to what she said.
Governor Abbott has done the exact right thing, and I'll drive him more razor wire from South Dakota if I have to for him to do his job.
You see, these Edomites ain't playing, but guess what? America is going to fall because, see, white America, they have capitalized off the rape, rob, and murder, Slakia, the rape, rob, and murder of the Israelites, and they don't consider. See, they don't consider these things. This is one of the reasons why your baby America is going down. Plus all of the other wickedness you Edomites have done globally in secrecy. Let's get Job in 20. It says, let me get Job in 20 and say what? Job 20 and 5, it says what? The triumphant of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Yeah. All of the things you Edomites, as well as the rest of you nations, but especially white America, you've been able to live high off the hog far too fucking long, man. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Right. He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be cast away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more. Neither shall his place any more behold him. See? So once this rulership fall, the white man will never come back into power. You're going to go into slavery, and then you're going to be eradicated. That's why even in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, what do it say? It says, for the ungodly said reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we never had been. Right. In the kingdom, we're not going to be talking about Esau either. You're not going to have a street in the kingdom called George Washington Avenue, Jefferson, and whoever else they like, Franklin. You're not going to see that in the kingdom. They're going to be a no people. For the breath of our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the movement of our heart, which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. See, the elites of Esau Edom know they're going to be eradicated. That's why they fighting so hard. The everyday American, they don't understand these things. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. Yeah, we're not gonna be, talking about what Ben Franklin did and what, who Edomites be, all they forefathers, the founding fathers. That's gonna be done. That's gonna get burnt up with this kingdom. Mount Rushmore. That's gonna get burnt up with this kingdom. It's gonna get destroyed. It's not gonna be a white man face in the kingdom of heaven on a damn mountain. And our lives shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of sun and overcome with the heat thereof. For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Right. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present. Yeah, you Edomites, you should really be having fun, but you really can't, because your kingdom is going down. It's too much going on. But the elites, they know, like, hey, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in our youth. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. Yeah, this is the lot of Esau Edom, to be destroyed. This is their lot. All right, because, up until certain points, what have been a lot. All right. They was blessed by Isaac to have what? Let's get that. Let me get that. I don't want to butcher it. Bear with me 1 second. What's that in Genesis? What's that? Genesis. Let me see. Make sure this. Bear with me 1 second. Nope. All right, here we go. Oh no, that's not. So let's start at Genesis 27, and because this when Jacob got the blessing, basically of the kingdom of heaven, and Esau, he got supplanted. Well, actually Isaac, but it was all set up in the spirit anyway for us to have this blessing. I'm gonna get straight to the point. Genesis 27 and 37, it says, and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord. See, we're gonna be lords over Esau and the rest of you nations. It all goes back to this. And all his brethren have I given to him for servants. Yeah. So in the kingdom of heaven, the so-called white man is going to be a servant. He's going to be in servitude. The rest of you nations going to be in servitude. Like we was in servitude to you on this side. You come in our neighborhoods, you make millions of dollars off your liquor stores, your gas stations, your what's those beauty and barber supplies these Koreans have, these little mom and pop spots that y'all have with chicken and fish and all of that. Y'all make money off of that in our communities. You don't spend nothing in our community. You don't give back. You hired a nigga woman, come up in there. Most of the time, you don't hire black men. You hired a woman or women to come up in there and work. And y'all live high off the hog long enough, man. So now it's time for y'all to be in servitude. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do unto thee, my son? Yeah, so we getting a way better kingdom than y'all had. Go to Psalms 126. You know what I'm saying? You brothers and sisters, read Psalms 126, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. So this have been his lot thus far. Esau have waxed and fat. He had great technology. He's been able to run rapid on through the earth like a badass child. He's been the face. His woman has been the face of beauty, put up on a pedestal. He have been put up on a pedestal. All right. You get away with all type of rape, robbery, murder, and still looked at as the good guy. Verse 40, and by thy sword shall thou live. Right. And this is how he came into power, through the sword. And that's not just even through the literal sword, but through guns, bombs, missiles, putting together diseases, pandemics, all of that. That's how he came into power. Just look what he did to the natives. He gave them smallpox. All right. That's like what? Chemical warfare or whatever. That's a part of warfare, man. That's a part of that sword. I don't know if it's chemical warfare per se, forgive me, but that's a part of that sword. That's why they have a CDC. And shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. All right. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Right. And they still to this day hate us. That's where that internal hatred comes from, even if they don't understand it. That's why the elites, they understand what's going on. They want the blessing, but it's not for them to give. So thus far, they've been given what? The fatness of the earth, man, and the dew from heaven. All right. That's why when you go here to Psalm 17, it says what? It says, I'm gonna get to the point. Now I'm gonna start here because this is King David. Prayer for protection against oppressors. All right. King David was asking for protection from these niggas, man. Psalm 17 and 19. Keep me as the apple of thy eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings, from the wicked that oppress me, from my daily enemies who compass me about. They are enclosed in their own fat, right? Because they got the fatness of the earth. This has been their lot thus far, but they're going to come into another lot to be destroyed, to be in servitude and then destroyed. With their mouth, they speak proudly. Yeah. You hear these, they don't need, what the guy Yovel Noah Harari said, we don't need Yahushua for immortality. We don't need the God of the Bible. He's done. He's dead. Verse 11, they have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. See, and what did Esau? What was one of his blessings? That sword. In verse 40, Genesis 27 and 40, we went to it. He said what? And by thy sword thou shalt live. Now, when you go to 17, what David asking for? Protection against that sword. That's that same sword. Verse 14, and the point from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life. This is their portion. And whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. Right. That's why you will have first it went, they had a plantation that they own and they passed that down, kept passing it down. Now they have companies, they have businesses. That's why the Rothschilds, they've been in power for basically hundreds of years, man, for a long, long time. They ain't just coming to power in the 1900s. Okay. They've been in power a long time. A nigga can't even have a business for 10 years without it, being destroyed. These people been in power. If you go to your neighborhood corner store, most of the time, them people been there for years, 20, 30 years, ever since you was a little kid, certain neighborhoods. That same corner store been owned by different people of their nation for years. See? So let me go back here. Let's see this. Let me play this real fast. Let's see if it's gonna play. All right, Salaki, I see it didn't want to play. Let me do this. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just trying to get everything right. I'm trying to get everything right on the other page before I play it. Bear with me 1 second. Let's see it don't want to be. I hate when this happens. Right in the middle of a lesson. Let me do this. Give me 1 second because I want to play a couple more things. All right, so let's see if it's gonna act right. I have to get it translated into English. But I don't know why I switched back. Okay, there we go. Yeah, man, this is big right here. This is huge. When you think about it, come on. Trying to wait for it to load up. Going back to this one I wanted to play. Hold on one second. Let's see. This is don't play. I wonder why it's not. All right, here we go. All right, so I got this documentary, What Caused the Roman Empire to Collapse, because, like I stated earlier, this is Rome 2.0. And you're going to see the similarities of how Rome fell, how the new Rome is going to fall. And it's just a beautiful thing to witness. So let me see if it's going to play.
The Roman Empire seemed unbeatable at its peak. One of the largest empires the world had ever seen, it fended off all of its military foes. It built a complex administrative state that ruled regions from Egypt to Spain to England and as far east as modern-day Iraq. At its height, it seemed like it would rule forever. And today, it's a distant memory. Why did the Roman Empire ultimately...
You see how in its height, just like everybody think America can't be took down, is not going to be took down. Same thing happened in ancient Rome. All right, it had lands far and vast. It had vassal states, meaning other states that was under servitude, like the United States does have globally. But it still came down, and that's what's going to happen with America.
Ultimately fall? Did it meet an enemy too powerful to fend off? Was it undone by an internal conflict?
You see, internal conflict or enemies. Did it meet a fierce enemy? Same thing.
Or did it simply stretch itself too thin?
You see?
The answer isn't any one of those, and the empire's downfall happened over hundreds of years. To find the truth of the Roman Empire's fall, we have to go back to how it became an empire in the first place, because initially it was a republic.
So you see, it didn't fall overnight, just like nothing was built overnight. America's a very powerful kingdom, so it's not going to fall overnight. It's going to stretch out. All right. So now I want to kind of jump. They went to the beginning. I don't want to get that. I want to kind of jump here. go.
It's the beginning of a new golden age. So, how could things go so very wrong? The year was 337 CE when Constantine passed away, and while Constantine's reign had been full of successes, there was trouble lurking under the surface. His embrace of Christianity had given the church massive power in Rome, and although many supported him in his decision, there were some who didn't wish for the empire to fall under the Christianity. Enemies of the state were executed, and their estates were given to those he favored. The military was paid well, but soon the soldiers seemed to be engaging in blatant corruption. But the empire was still the greatest power in the world, and it was hard to imagine anyone challenging it. But empires aren't immune from internal strife. In the aftermath of the death of Constantine, the throne of the empire was once again open.
So you see where they had that internal conflict. Okay, just like America. Same thing. Same thing is happening.
For contest, and this era led to many conflicts over who would take control. His sons initially ruled jointly, but chaos would follow, and Rome would be plunged into civil war. Many territories were taken over by local leaders, with territories going back and forth at the whims of the military victories. Despite this, the core of the empire was unchallenged.
So again, you got 25 states that's coming up against Biden forces, half of the country, just like ancient Rome. Let me see, did I get that? Jeremiah, I think I got that Jeremiah.
And by 379, a new emperor named Theodosius had risen. A proven general, he would become one of Rome's greatest military leaders and would put an end to the era of strife. But far greater threats were brewing beyond the borders of Rome. As far-reaching as Rome's borders were at the time, it was hard to believe that a nomadic people from a continent away would throw the whole thing into chaos.
You see, and that's what you have today. Let's get that. Joel 3 verse 9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. And that's why you have, think about how the Houthi rebels, you have Hamas, they getting reactions out of the United States military 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. That wouldn't have happened. Kim Jong-un, you have all these other nations that's been backed by who? Russia, a mighty enemy. You have these little rebels getting reactions out of the United States. Okay, United States and UK had to deal with the Houthis, where, they 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, they would have never, came up, the Hamas, all of them. They would have just been, it wouldn't have been nothing to just come, they wouldn't even dare tempt the United States. But see, just like ancient Rome, the Huns, I think he said, came up against them and threw everything out of whack. Even when you go to, what is that? Let me see. No, that's not good. Bear with me 1 second. The least of the flock should draw them out. Where is that at? Let me get that. I thought I had it queued up. Oh, yeah, that was Jeremiah 49. So Jeremiah 49 and 20, it says, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom. Yeah, you so-called white people, the Edomites, and his purposes. This is the purpose of the Lord, man, to take Esau down, that he have purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. And that was some of the wise men of Esau, Edom. Like when you go into Teman, you might go into Germany. You know, they was the nuclear physicists and all of that. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Right. And you see Israel, all of these is interconnected. The conflict with Israel and Gaza, Russia, Ukraine, all of this is going to be entered. This is how the Lord, he's a war tactician. So all of these they're really connected. All right, because these rebels, they backed by Iran. Iran is backed by Russia. Russia against the U.S. Then you got Israel on the U.S. side, and all of the people that's going against. You got a lot of proxy wars too in between there, but it's all U.S. Russia. Those are the two big boys. So let me go back to this, because it said the Huns. It wasn't believable.
The era of strife. But far greater threats were brewing beyond the borders of Rome.
See, and that's that external conflict that the Lord got, that the Lord had for ancient Rome, like he do the New Age Roman Empire. They got a lot of external things going. They ran the military thin. Now you got this internal conflict with the border crisis. Meanwhile, it's like 8.89 million already into the country.
As far-reaching as Rome's borders were at the time, it was hard to believe that a nomadic people from a continent away would throw the whole thing into chaos. But the Huns were no ordinary nomads. Fierce warriors, they'd been making inroads into Asia and Eastern Europe, and where they went, people fled. Their massive takeover of territory had led to the Gothic tribes to flee toward the Roman Empire. Suddenly, the Romans had a huge influx of barbarian warriors fleeing across their border, and Rome's lack of management in their border states came back to haunt them.
Same thing.
A well-organized government might have been able to resettle these new residents and incorporate them into the Roman states, even using their warrior smarts to reinvigorate the military. Unfortunately, the corrupt local officials instead chose to exploit them, assuming they weren't a threat. They would be proven very wrong.
You see, and that's Esau, Edom. Same. These the same Edomites, man. These Romans. These are the same people in power today. That's why they gonna go down. And that's why when Yahushua was on the scene, it was the Roman Empire was in power. And now when he come back on the scene, Rome 2.0 gonna be in power. You know why? Because that's why it says, and that's why I said the same that pierced him is gonna see him, because them same people is in power today. They've been reincarnated to get their judgment. Let me get this. Obadiah 1:3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. So they didn't feel like they was a threat, just like you got Biden saying, let them through. They didn't perceive that these other nations was going to be militarily capable to come against them. Well, hey, let the weak say I'm strong. All right. America is very prideful. The white man and his woman is very prideful. But what the Lord say, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? America really, look, verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So the Lord is going to bring them down, and they're going to be taken out of power and not remembered. You never coming back. You never going to see a bald-headed, balding white man in power ever again after this. Because listen to what the Lord said here through Obadiah. If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? See, meaning like the Lord ain't leaving them nothing. Like if a robber come in, you still might have some possessions in your household. But when the Lord come through and take Esau out of power, he's going to bring them to desolation, to naught. See? But the pride of your heart, man, just like before. These are the same Edomites, man, that was running wrong, man. Let's go back.
Now the Romans had a large number of outside warriors within their borders. These guests had seen Roman hospitality was lacking, and so they quickly took up arms. They were joined by other tribesmen heading over the border, and what started as a refugee crisis quickly turned into a guerrilla war. While Rome had a superior military force, it was also spread out and concentrated in the cities, and the forces that were sent to confront the Goths found the invaders fought much harder than expected. The elites felt very little of the crisis. They were kept safe in their walled cities, but across the massive expanses of the Roman countryside, the Goths quickly gained territory and claimed the land of former Roman subjects across the Balkans. And Theodosius might have neglected this problem a bit too much.
You see? And when you go to let's go here. These words are faithful and true, man. Where we at? When you go to Ezekiel, you see that prophecy about Gog and future invasion of Israel. All right, so let me see. Ezekiel 38:10. Thus said the Lord power, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. Because you go up in the chapter, he put his hooks in Russia's jaws, meaning the Lord is in control of this. He pulling them forward. Verse 11, it says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates. And that's speaking about what? America. All right. Russia's going to keep pushing west. They're not going to stop at Ukraine. Just like in ancient Rome, man. They came and got through. They were the elites. They was in their little towns. All right. Thinking everything good. Nah.
Quickly gained territory and claimed the land of former Roman subjects across the Balkans. And Theodosius might have neglected this problem a bit too much. The emperor may have restored Rome's military in some ways, but the coffers were still looking kind of bare after decades of patronage under his predecessors. He raised taxes to confront the barbarians and was met with rebellions from the people he ruled over. He also cracked down on other faiths, doubling down on Constantine's embrace of Christianity, and even persecuted believers of other variants of Christianity.
See, and the same thing gonna happen. That's why when you go to, let's get this. Wait, that might be better. Bear with me 1 second. No, that was what all right, so that's why when you go, when you go to Luke 21, it says what? When the Lord was talking about the latter days, what did he say? I'm getting to the point. Verse 12, he says, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into the prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. See, this is what happened in ancient Rome. All of the Christians, all of the, they were getting persecuted. Well, the real Christians today, the Israelites, the Hamashiachim, they're going to be persecuted, just like in ancient Rome. Because you had followers of Yahweh Shah back then, and they got persecuted.
Doubling down on Constantine's embrace of Christianity, and even persecuted believers of other variants of Christianity. Soon he was facing new rebellions in the West, seeking to end his rule, with rebel leader Magnus Maximus declaring himself emperor in 383 and taking over the territory of Gaul. This led to
guys with bad genes. Are they worth it?
Genes go with everything.
They go with nothing.
significant losses in territory and troops until Maximus made a failed attempt at defeating Rome itself and was ultimately defeated in 388. Rome once again became the greatest power on the planet, but soon this would all change. By 395 CE, Theodosius I would die, leaving behind him a weakened army and no clear successor. His two sons would each claim the empire, but neither was a capable leader, leaving their ministers to essentially take charge of the situation. Rather than go to another brutal civil war only a decade after the last, The two halves of the empire essentially went their own separate ways. One emperor, Arcadius, took the Eastern Roman Empire, which would become known as the Byzantine Empire in the future, while the other son, Honorius, would take the western part, including Rome itself. It was the biggest loss of territory for Rome yet, and this time there would be no going back. The Byzantine Empire would endure, lasting another 1,000 years with a power base in the city of Constantinople. It would never reach the world-defining power of the Roman Empire, though. As for Rome, it still ruled much of Europe, but its days were drawing short. Without the massive territory now owned by the Byzantines, administering the empire was much more manageable, but it also meant the massive barbarian invasions were harder to control. The leader of the Huns, Attila, was one of the most feared military leaders of all time, and now he placed his full attention on taking Rome. It would be a death of 1,000 cuts for the Roman Empire. Over the next 80 years, the Roman Empire dealt with brutal attacks from the Huns on their fringes and the Gothic population throughout the empire. The Roman military was a shadow of what it used to be, and it frequently found itself in retreat. The territory of the...
Yeah, and you see the American military, they gonna face the same fate. Because even, what do it say? Oh, man. Bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Jeremiah 50. Let's see if it's a 50. We're talking about the soldiers. Now, bear with me 1 second. It's basically the scripture that's talking about how, don't nobody really want to fight in the military. Oh, man. But you see that happen in ancient Rome. They was always on the fleet. Let me see. That's Jeremiah 51. What's that? Isaiah 13. I used to know that scripture on the back of my head. Yeah, I got it. I don't worry right now. But yeah, man, the same thing. Forgive me. But again, let me go back, because the same thing. You notice, I did in a lesson where other brothers did in a lesson where the U.S. military, the recruitment numbers was very, very low due to people not wanting to go to the military, and that's because the American Army is I don't know why I said this one was on. Because the American military, don't nobody want to fight in the military. This generation is not that old generation as before.
The empire shrunk piece by piece, and Rome started to look less like a powerful empire and more like a city in different leaders.
I don't know, big brothers. This is hard to understand. It said it shrunk piece by piece, and the Roman military stopped looking like a powerful military, man. Let me see.
And Rome started to look.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the point, that I want to get, that, hey, this is a kingdom divided. And just like ancient Rome, New Rome is going to fall, man. So, Lord willing, this is edifying. To the next lesson. Shalom.